Hey everyone, in this video we're going to cover bones of the thorax, which means we've completed everything that we need to know for the arms for the course, um, which is exciting. It's a big accomplishment to be able to go from the head and get everything in the head to the neck to the arms, and now moving more medially. So let's dive right in. Number one, that's going to be your manubrium. So your manubrium is part of the sternum. This is your sternum right here that I'm outlining in blue right here. Let's zoom in. So all of this is the sternum. 1, 2, and 3. But the different parts of it is your manubrium, which is in yellow, our body of the sternum, which is 2, and then number 3 being our xiphoid process. Um, this is something that can break uh, during chest compressions um, if somebody's doing CPR on you. Um, Number 4, that's going to be our sternal angle. So this is looking at, again, the, the sternum. Sternal angle is right here on the manubrium, where the manubrium turns into the body of the sternum, which is right there. Uh, right here, it's not one of the numbers, but at the top of the manubrium, this is your jugular notch, or you might hear it as your suprasternal notch. Um, Number 5, that's going to be your costal cartilage. So that's what's going to be red right here. All of these are your costal cartilages. When it comes to your ribs, you have 12 of them on both sides. These ribs, you have one for each thoracic vertebrae. If you remember cervical vertebrae, you have 7 of them. When it comes to your thoracic, you have 12. For your lumbar, you have 5. So for every single one of those thoracic vertebrae, right there, uh, connecting in with that transverse processes of the vertebrae, you're gonna have a rib connecting. So the first 7, you might hear of them as what's called true ribs. These ribs, uh, they come in and they connect into that costal cartilage, and then they come straight towards the sternum. Uh, so you might also hear of them as vertebrosternal ribs, just because they are coming straight from the vertebrae to the sternum. So right here is rib number 1. This one's number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. If you want to number those, you can. These dark red colored ones right here, these are what's called false ribs, is the first way I ever heard of them, or they are what's called your vertebrochondral ribs, because they all share the same costal cartilage going up into the sternum. And then you have your floating ribs, is what I've heard of them being called. This book labels them as just vertebral ribs, just because they only connect into the vertebrae. Um, so there's that for you. Number 9 is intercostal space. So your ribs are uh, your ribs, obviously, but you have what's called your intercostals, which is just the space that you can fit between each rib. Number 10, that's going to be your superior thoracic aperture. I'm going to scroll down to this other one. So number 10 being right here. So you have rib number 1 connecting into that sternum, and then you have the other rib on the other side. This space right here is what 10 is trying to point out as being that superior thoracic aperture, whereas number 11 If you come off the xiphoid process, down these false ribs, and then you come back around to where they connect into the vertebrae, back around, and up to that xiphoid process. If you can shove your hand up in through that rib cage, that's what the inferior thoracic aperture is trying to show you right here. Um, Number 12, that is going to be your heart projection right there. 13 is your internal intercostal muscles. These are active when you're trying to push out the air from your lungs, or expiration. Inspiration, that's going to be from your external intercostal ribs. So, coming back to this other picture, sorry for the back and forth. I want you to put your hands, your fingers close together, and put them in your pockets. Putting your hands into your pockets is a perfect representation of what the um, external intercostal muscles are going, the way that those muscles fit into the ribs. They're coming into the pockets. If your hands are pointing out and not going into your pockets, that's going to be your internal, your internal intercostal muscles. So that's it for this video, really. Hopefully it helps, and we'll see you in the next one. All right, I just want to give credit where credit is due. These are the books and the resources I used for the videos. So first we have Essentials of Human Anatomy by Dr. Kurt Walker. We then have Essential Clinical Anatomy by Keith L. Moore and M.R. Auger and Arthur F. Daly. I also used Structure and Function of the Human Body by Mark Nilsson and Jamie Garbett. The last book I have is The Concise Book of Trigger Points by Simon Neil Asher. And then I used the app called Complete Anatomy. As you've seen from the videos, it's amazing. If you can afford it, I suggest it. It's such a useful tool when learning this stuff. So that's it. Have a good day.